right, welcome everybody. All right, welcome to Tuesday Museday. I'm Kalani. What are you guys up to? I see a lot of familiar names. Let's say hello. Is it sounding okay? Hopefully the sound is good. I'm always concerned about that. Bill, nice and early as usual, and Rosanna's here. Richard, welcome back. It's been a minute. I was thinking about you today, and I was thinking, what's Richard doing? I haven't seen him on Tuesday Museday. Nice to see you. Global Sound. Every time I have to count, 2022. I think that's correct. Welcome, Alex and Neil. Awesome. James, welcome. And who else? Oh, I saw Cornelius. But first, Mick is there. Rebecca, nice to see you. Yeah, there's Cornelius. And I'm just scrolling down. Urban Dervish, nice to see you again. Been in Spain. Wow, Barcelona. All right. Yes, Spain is beautiful. I've been lucky enough to be there. Okay, sounds great. Richard says, sounds great. Roseanne says. So I believe you. Because both of you have good ears and can hear things. No offense if you can't hear. That's okay. But since, this is kind of made a sound, mostly, I want it to sound good. So what have you guys been doing? How's your week going? Well, happy June. We had a weird weather phenomenon just now. It's been hot this week, and it was raining like crazy. I went to the gym right before I started this, and we came out of the gym, and it was like a downpour. It was nuts, but it was one of those kind of like summer rains where it's sort of warm, and the drops are really big. It's weird. It's very strange, but welcome. And you're all welcome. What were you saying, Roseanne, about? I missed that something early in the chat. You were saying, talking about the chat. YouTube chat is ranking you. Oh, that's funny. Of course they are. A token economy costs very little, and they're trying to. I guess they're trying to get you guys to. I don't know what they're trying to get you to do. Be more active, I guess, so they can get our data and sell it. What are you gonna do? It's free. It's a free platform. All right, we're the product. That's okay. Was it Urban? Yeah, Urban Dervish has been in Spain. That's fancy. I was lucky enough to do a little tour of Spain with an artist named Suzanne Chani. She's kind of like a piano. She is a piano player, but I think she was on Windham Hill, or she is on the Windham Hill label. It's kind of like really nice. I got to play with some amazing musicians, and did a little tour of Spain with her, which was awesome. Yeah, I don't know what the YouTube's doing with the ranking comments. Maybe. I mean, they all want activity so they can charge more for ads, right? So they can go to their advertisers and say, look how many people, look how much activity we have. Pay us money. But that's not necessarily bad for me, of course, because I do get a little bit of money from YouTube. Not from the Tuesday Musedays, I don't think, because I don't put ads on them until after they've aired. You can put ads, and I don't do that, you guys. I feel like that's a little obnoxious, right? You tune into a live stream, and immediately you have to see an ad. I don't know. I haven't quite gotten myself that far into the commercialization. Plus, if it's not like there's 200,000 people tuning into this either, so I don't want to. I'm not trying to throw an ad on something with like 20 people on here. I feel like this is for us, and then I'll put an ad on it later if people want to watch it. If they want to watch the recording, then I'll put ads, because I feel like in that case, and this is for any of you who have YouTube channels, I guess it's a little counterintuitive. I used to not want to put ads on because I thought more people would watch them if there wasn't an ad on the video. But I realized, well, YouTube doesn't have any incentive to show people videos with no ads on them, because then they don't make any money. So I actually put some ads. I put more ads on my videos, not necessarily because I want to make money. I don't make that much money on ads, but because I want YouTube to promote them, right? Because YouTube will make money. So I feel like they're not going to promote videos that are not commercial, if that makes sense. I could be wrong. That's just my thinking. I'm just guessing. Hey, Cornelius. All right. Yes, Andalusia is the home of the flamenco. That's right. And we love the Andalusian cadence. And yeah, cool. Camarón de la Isla Museum. Is that doesn't Cameron mean shrimp or something? I thought shrimp of the Isle. Is that what that means? Shrimp Island? I don't know. I shouldn't guess at those things. What does it mean, Urban Dervish? Camarón de la Isla. I feel like it means shrimp island or shrimp of the island. It is shrimp, right? Okay, Shrimp Island. Okay, let's move on. I have a guess the sound for you guys. Let's do it. Should be pretty easy.
Guess the sound!
What do you guys think? That's funny, Roseanne. Yeah, I guess if your name's Cameron, but that's not the same, right? Alex is in with Ninja Sword. I like the guess, but no. And Roseanne gets it. Yes. The sistrum. This is sometimes these squeak. The little or is it here? Let me go down here. Let's get the question marks out of the way so I can use the close-up camera. You hear that? It's like squeaky. It's so dry. But this is one of my favorite systems of it, as I've said, and I've rebuilt this. You can see where the metal is new, and that took a minute to do. But yeah, bottle caps, rusty bottle caps, you guys, flattened out, just super flat, and it's a pretty simple design, but it sounds great, I think. Simple. Anyway, that's good. Roseanne gets all the points for today. Yes, it does need some WD-40. I should put some. I might actually lubricate that metal and see what I can do. Although I'm sort of partial to silicone lubricant. I don't know why. It's just a little cleaner and less oily smelling. Yes, and just James, hello. It is rustic. So maybe we'll incorporate that later in the Gimme 5, or at any time. But I like it. I like this also because it's a little bit outside of the frequencies of other instruments, so it has its own place in the mix. And what I try to do, here's a little this is a little information and educational component to today's show. Because I like to try to talk about something educational in between playing, and that is whenever you guys are, if you're arranging, whether you're doing it on the computer with loops or you're playing live or recording, instruments or doing live looping like I am, you definitely want to think not just in terms of the different rhythms and things that you're playing, but the instrumentation, because well, you've got timbre, right, which is the sound quality, but you've also got timbre plus pitch in this case. And so I always like to have things in their own sonic space, right? If you're going to put together an ensemble, you want to think low, at least low, mid, and highs, right? And in this example, in the instruments that are playing here, right, you've got all those things. We've got the cajon, the low, which I'm kind of using as a bass drum, just using the low, the cajon note, and then we go up to the congas, which are almost like dun dun in a way also. So they are a low drum. They are a drum, a mid hand drum, but they can also take the role of a bass drum that play with a stick. So I'll use the congas in place of dun dun. And then, hey Tom, welcome. Oh, thank you so much for that. That's nice. That is awesome. We appreciate the super chat tips. And then we have the Gimme, or I guess going up the scale, we had the cajon tab right here, which is a combo of a drum sound, right? If I take the snares off, and I know I'm using a conga drum as a table right now, but one reason I'm doing that is because I discovered if I put the snares on, and I'm not advocating that you ever use a drum as a table, but I'm actually using it as a resonation transfer device. Because I noticed when I play this drum, when I play this conga, specifically the higher one, it like vibrates the snares on the cajon tab, and I thought, oh, I kind of like that, so I'll leave that. But cajon tab is like a middle drum sound, and then it also has the snare, so it's got the brighter side too. And then djembe for our high drum. And then we had a bell, right, for the very high end, and also in this case I think I played this kashishi. What is my screen saying me? My screen is telling me something. Sorry. Oh, maybe that was a super chat notification. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. That is very generous. More sistrum. Okay. I've got another sistrum over there. Maybe I'll grab it. Awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's the instrumentation from the bottom up. So cajon, congas, cajon tab, and then djembe are drums, and then we had the kashishi and the sistrum, or the kashishi and the cowbell. And so it's really spread out. If you think about like an orchestra score, with from the like basses all the way up to the piccolo, you've got the range. And then of course in the percussion section, it would sort of be like timpani, all the way up to tom-tom, snare drums, and then cymbals at the very high end. So you want to spread out your instruments pitch wise, because it's just easier to hear everything in the mix. So if you guys are doing loops or recording and your percussion mix or drum mix is a little muddy, it might be that you've got too many things in one sonic register. So it's just something to think about. And even when you're picking a Gimme 5 instruments, think about that as well. Think at least like a low drum and a middle thing, and then something high on the top. All right, and then we added flute to that, and that was, I like to just give credit. This is another Brent Haynes flute, which has a little orca on it. And can you see that? Yeah, there we go. So this is a hardwood. I don't know what the wood is, but it's like a reddish brown wood. It's got some mother of pearl and the little orca, and then yeah, simple. And my fingers, I think this is about the highest pitch flute I could play with these finger holes, only because I'll show you. Because I literally, these two fingers are smashed together, like there's no more room right there. My fingers are touching. So in the middle of the flute, right here, these two holes are super close. So it's about as tight as it's gonna get. I don't know. I don't think I could play a much higher pitch flute unless the finger holes were spread out. All right. So yeah, that's Brent Haynes Wood Sounds flutes, and in fact, all the flutes back here, every single one of these is a Wood Sounds flute, and then I've got more over here. But I know Richard knows what I'm talking about. He has a lot of Wood Sounds flutes as well, um, and they're really nice, just works of art. Sometimes they need a little tweaking, but that's another issue. Global Sound is asking, why are native flutes so expensive? Well, they range a lot. So Wood Sounds is at the upper end of the price range for sure. And then, and Richard, you have about 120 of them. Oh my God. Okay, that is a lot. So Native American style flutes are not necessarily expensive if you just have to shop around. There are some really nice flutes being made um, that are not that expensive. I would say a couple $100, and you can have a really nice one starting. And also, there's some ABS uh, flutes by Northern Spirit Flutes. Richard Dubé up. He has a company called Northern Spirit up in Canada, and he makes some really nice ABS flutes that are, you could call it a plastic flute. But I really like his. They sound great. You know they're durable, and they're fairly inexpensive. I think under $100 for a flute. I don't know. Prices have been changing, so I'm not sure. But yeah, anywhere from a couple hundred to, and then they go up to in some cases thousands. But I would say 200 to 2,000 would be the range. But there's a lot in the two, three, $400 range. Um, if you ask Richard, uh, it was my midlife crisis. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. At least you didn't blow it gambling. You bought nice instruments, and there's nothing. It's always nice to have nice instruments to play. And if you with Wood Sounds flutes, I mean, I feel like they're kind of holding their value, and in some cases they may even go up in price because the hardwoods are getting harder to get, and so instruments that are made out of, for example, and don't tell anybody, but this flute is Brazilian rosewood. And let me show you a close up at this one because this is gorgeous. I know the lighting isn't super great, but this wood it's got some subtle tones in there that I find absolutely beautiful. But this is just a very simple Brazilian rosewood flute, and I think it's maple burl on the mouthpiece and the tip and the bird. But this flute is fairly rare because it's Brazilian rosewood. You can't even import this wood anymore. I mean, you could maybe if you can get it. I'm not sure what the deal is with Brazilian rosewood. I think you can get it, but it's not that easy. There's not that much of it. It's kind of a protected species. So, for example, a flute like this may go up in value. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't get it. I'm not buying instruments as investment. I don't think that's a good idea. But Nigerian ebony, Brazilian rosewood. There's some woods that are going to go up because they're just getting more rare. All right, but if Richard, if anybody has any flute makers that they would, okay, yeah, Roseanne, Blue Bear flutes. I was just going to say if you want to put, any flute makers in there, and also Tom Fox is. I don't know if you're selling flutes, Tom. Are you selling flutes? I know you make flutes, but there's a lot of people making flutes, and some really nice instruments. So if you want to know more, you can message me or just people can put links in the chat right now, and you can find some flutes. But it also depends on where you are located. I think a lot of the makers are here in the U.S. There's some great makers up in Canada as well, and I know Australia. There's some people making nice Native American style flutes over there. So yeah, just look around. Keep looking around. Yeah, and Richard's pointing out that the range is Oh, and Tom said he doesn't. You don't sell them. Okay, that's fine. James said stellar flutes are affordable and sound great. Good, good to know. Yeah, it's not a huge range, and the thing with the flutes, and I know we're talking about a lot about flutes right now. We'll get back to percussion in a second. But the thing with the Native American style flutes is that generally speaking, people buy like one flute to play in one key, or at least two keys, like the major mode and the minor mode. And so that's why we end up with a lot of flutes, because they're not really a chromatic instrument. I mean, you can play chromatically on them, but it gets a little tricky. So to make it easier to play, I think it's a conspiracy among flute players. It's not, but we end up buying multiple flutes just because they're different sizes and they're different ranges. And then you have bass flutes and mid flutes and the upper flutes. So you end up with a lot of flutes. I've sort of tapered off, and I'm trying to stop buying so many because where does it end, right? So at some point, you have to just stop and enjoy the instruments you have, and not always collect and collect and collect. In fact, I'm sort of moving in the opposite direction myself, and I'll use that as an opportunity to go back to percussion. And I've been selling some instruments lately, and also I realized, and some of you will remember this, I was gonna do a giveaway of sticks and mallets for patrons, and I still am gonna do that. I got sidetracked for a while, but for example, I have so many sticks and mallets. So for patrons at the courses tier or higher, I'm going to be giving away packs of some sticks and mallets in just like goodie bags, which will be in the form of a mail tube, and I will send it to you. I think the only thing I'm going to do is just ask people to pay for shipping. But I'm going to do that because I just have too much stuff, you guys, and I'd rather get it out there and have people using it. And I appreciate our courses tier patrons a lot. You guys are like our first class, you're our first class cabin people, and you help support the channel and support this live stream, Tuesday Museday, and all that. So that's one thing I'm going to do to give back. And then there's other stuff, that I might give away. In the past, we had some sponsors that were giving away stuff. Maybe I need to get back on that too. And Richard says he's drowning in stuff, drowning in music stuff. Yeah, it's easy to. I don't know. Somehow it's easier to acquire things than it is to manage them sometimes, and then we have to thin the herd every once in a while, cull the herd. Um, you have buckets of sticks and mallets, Roseanne, and for you it's mainly a hobby, isn't it? So yeah, it's easy to buy things, and it's fine. It's okay to buy things. I'm just trying to look to save space, like, and I have things that I just don't use. I have them and they're cool, but if you're not using it, what is the general rule? If you haven't worn it in 2 years, you probably don't need it, right? Time to give away that old tuxedo. Plus, probably doesn't fit anymore anyway. All right. Roseanne said your daughter gets mad every time you buy another instrument. Why is that? Less inheritance money? If you buy some Wood Sounds flutes, maybe they'll go up in value, and then she'll be happy. Just buy collectibles. That's the key. That's how I get away with buying Corvettes. 1971 Corvettes. I say to my wife, look, it's going to be worth more in 20, which is true. I hope. It should, but it's like the value should just go up, right? Because it's a classic car. So, all right. Oh, Richard, you have 5 B flat trumpets, and from a high of 10. All right. I didn't realize you were a trumpet player. I knew you were a keyboard and flute. So that's cool. For some reason, brass players seem to make really good arrangers too, and composers. I don't know what it is. Why is that? You guys have good ears for arranging, I think. I do want to give a shout out to Cajon Tab. these are made by Lucon Drums, and they're not paying me to say this, but I really like what these guys are doing. The reason it's called cajon tab is that it's the size of a tablet. That's true. I'm not making that up. So they call it the cajon tab. This one is mahogany, and the wood is beautiful. But they're just like a lap cajon. But just really nice sound, really resonant. So that can be one of the Gimme 5 instruments by itself or on top of the conga. We have djembe, we have a couple congas, we have cajon, and then hand percussion over here, and then some flutes and other stuff, I have ukuleles. Too many ukuleles. I did sell one last week, though. Thinning the herd. All right. So what do you guys think? Let's move into Gimme 5 time. Global Sound says yes. Buy boogeraboos. I do have one that I bought. By the way, you guys, I'm gonna do a I'm gonna get the head on the boogeraboo replaced, and I'm gonna take it over to my buddy Dan Rice at Motherland Music. They're a local music store here in Los Angeles, and I will make a video about that because I think it's interesting. So I'm gonna go down there. I'll take the boogeraboo in to Motherland, and that I'll document that, and we'll get a before and after comparison, and we'll take a look at their shop, and they have a really cool shop. So if you like the video I made on the Japan Percussion Center, which if you haven't seen that, you should go watch that. It's on the channel. I'm gonna do another walk around or walk through of Motherland Music, and you can go onto their website, Motherland Music. I don't know what their URL is exactly, but you can search for them. And it's another example of a local shop who is just doing, they're still plugging away, and they provide a lot of value in the form of drum classes, drums from all around the world, drum head changing services, which is great. Because even though I can change a drum head on a rope tune drum, sometimes I don't want to do that again because I've done it a lot of times. So I'd almost rather pay them to do it and show you guys their shop and make some content out of that, and support them. So that's what I'm planning to do. Mr. McStrat, hello. You're enjoying Tuesday Music. Do you have a Cuica? I do have a Cuica. I have a couple Cuicas, which I also very rarely play. But yes, I do have a couple Cuicas, and one of them is for sale. At least one of them. All right. Global Sound, we have in for Gimme 5 suggestions. So cajon system, boogeraboo, violin-like stuff. What is that? And congas. I can do flutes or ukulele, or maybe some flutes with effects. So let me know. But I'm gonna wait. You guys can keep talking about that. I'll go grab the. Let me get up and I'll grab the boogeraboo. You guys can listen to this for a second. I'm gonna grab the boogeraboo. Okay. So this is the drum I'm gonna get reheaded, and it's got an okay sound still. It's not that I don't like the sound. It's just not. I want it to be a little brighter. It's pretty muted. not bad, but it is really old, and I feel like it just needs a new head. So we're gonna get it. We're gonna get a new head for it. But we can still use it. Every instrument, even if it doesn't sound, you know, like maybe it's not the ideal sound or the sound that you would like it to be, but every instrument, has a voice, and you can always use any instrument to make music. In fact, I really enjoy playing some of the instruments that are a little weird, a little funky, because when I play them, it pushes me in another direction, and I have to be a little more creative, or I play something I wouldn't normally play. And that is good. I think it's good because it just opens up different possibilities. Rebecca's asking, any suggestion where you would buy maybe a smaller djembe? I mean, if you want to walk in and buy it where you are, because where I don't know where you live, but I mean, Motherland ships all over. They have great drums, so I would recommend them. But Rebecca, if you want to put like your area in the chat, I might be able to recommend something. But I don't know who's open anymore either. That's the thing. A lot of places closed over COVID, so I'm not sure. But as far as djembes, if they're still, Michael Marcus's company, Wula drums, they're in New York. They're on the East Coast. And then we have Motherland down here in Los Angeles area. And then in the Santa Cruz area, I'm not sure what's happening over there, but I think they're still around. It's Drum Skull Drums. And they're all excellent. All of those places I just mentioned, Wula Drums, Drum Skull, and Motherland, they know instruments. And they can sell you a nice instrument. If you go online and just get it from like a mail order type reseller place, Tuscadero. So so I would say Drum Skull in Santa Cruz, Drum Skull Drums. You can go there. You're not that far from them, I don't think. The thing about djembes, you guys, these days, is that there's so many companies making djembes. Basically, everybody's making djembes. And a lot of them are made overseas, which there's nothing wrong with that, really. But if you want a djembe, I would say just get an West African-made djembe that's been curated by people who play djembe, and who know, they know the instruments, and if you want to have a legit, what we would call a legit instrument. If you just want something to play and sort of like make a sound and have fun with, and you don't really care about quality that much, or authenticity, then just get anything, get whatever you like. But that's my 2 cents on that. Yeah, Richard said you can definitely get like plastic ones, and whatever material. It's you can do that, but I don't know. You kind of get what you pay for. And djembe, look, here's the thing, you guys. Djembes are made of wood, right? And they have goatskin heads, or in some cases cow or calf, and they have rope tuning, and that's what a djembe is, right? Just like a piano is made of wood, and it has certain types of keys and strings and things, and that's how you make a piano. When you start changing up the materials and changing the construction and substituting different things for traditional things, then now the question is that still the instrument, or is it some other hybrid instrument? I kind of think it's the second. It's like a hybrid thing, or a djembe-like instrument. And again, there's nothing wrong with like having different types of instruments, but if you want a djembe that is going to sound and perform like a djembe, then you want to get something, I think, that's made, by a craftsperson who knows what they're doing, who's making the instrument in the tradition with the traditional materials, um, because then it's going to sound like a djembe, right? And it's going to play like a djembe and behave like a djembe. uh, Hopefully that all makes sense. So yeah, and that goes for whatever instrument that whatever instrument you're playing, you choose, whether it's trumpet or native flute or a djembe or a conga or anything. All right. All right. All right. Good night, Alex. Nice that you dropped in. Good to see you. All right, we're gonna do Gimme 5 with Global Sound 2022, and so we got Cajon System, Boogaroo, Kashishi, and Congas. 80 BPM. All right, let's get the 80 BPM. And by the way, today's theme was 4 on the floor. I just wanted to, I don't know, do something that felt really grounded. So that was my idea for the music at the top of the show. Just doing something that's like grounding, and so hopefully I achieve that. But grounding, but uplifting at the same time. All right, so 80 BPM is here. 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to change the track that I'm playing to, just because I'd like to have something else. All right. It was well grounded. Well rounded and well grounded. All right. So let me think again. So we have so we're not using the djembe, so I'm going to move the boogaroo. Isn't that fun to say? That's mainly why I bought it. So I could say boogaroo. So I'm going to do this. And let me show you. I could leave this here, but why not? I'll put it on because that's what it's designed. So it's designed to be this strap can go around, right? So I'll put that around my waist. Hopefully this works. I do have a djembe, right? I mean the boogaroo right in my lap, so it's kind of like the situation. And yes, this is a mic right here. That's my shotgun mic. Wow. Okay. In fact, let me move this camera a little bit. Hang on. Let's move this over. How's that? I think that's a little better. Too much stuff. Many cameras. All right. What else we have? Sistrum. Oh, and congas. Wow. A lot of stuff. And cajon. Oh, portable cajon. Okay, so wait. Portable cajon, sistrum, boogaroo, kashishi. Kashishi. I feel like it's more than 5 things. Because it is. That's okay. I don't mind if you sneak in one more item. All right. Let's try something. I'm going to erase what we had, and let's do some musicking. You guys know that's a real word, right? Musicking with a K. All right. right, everybody. Thanks for the Gimme 5 suggestion. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, it was fun. So, again, loose on drums, drum tab, cajon tab. And that was Boogaroo Congas, Kashishi, Sistrum, and cajon tab. Oh, thanks, Richard. Wish you could hear applause. I wish I could too. I need to. You know what? There actually are sound effects in the live streaming software that I'm using, but that's kind of corny. But as if I'm not, right? All right. Thanks, you guys. Yes, Urban Dervish is saying peace out. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I think the tuning with the 3 drums was kind of cool. So I sort of leaned into that as a little kind of a chromatic, a drum thing. If I had perfect pitch, I could have picked maybe like the perfect flute key. But I talked about that one earlier, so I thought I'd play it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Roseanne, for helping out and providing information and links and stuff. And I'll see you guys next week for episode 120. What is it? 125, I think. Can you believe this is 124? And I really do appreciate all of you who are patrons at patreon.com/Kalani. Have a wonderful week, and you guys let me know what you want to see. Send me your requests. I'm happy to try to make that happen. All right. Appreciate you. See you next week.
World Drum Club.